Welcome to Yin Yoga. Start with a comfortable seat. Just arrive on the mat. Whatever that feels like for you. Seating posture irrelevant. In other words, it needs to be comfortable and stable. So try to bring those two things together. Comfort and stability. So for some people it could even mean looking like this. For some, kneeling. I'm choosing the cross-legged position, wide stance with the heels close to the center of the body, one leg in front of the other. What is important is to line up the trajectory from the pelvis to shoulders to head. We want that alignment. Think of yourself as tuning into a radio station. For those people who remember the old dialing radio, where if you're a little bit out, it would be squelchy and static. We just want to tweak it a little bit until you feel that alignment and the reception becomes crystal clear. The pelvis usually slightly tilted forward, just a slight tilt. That gives that structural integrity to the low back. Abdominals slightly engaged. So the arms can dangle without bringing the shoulders forward. Once you feel the structure in place, notice how the breathing is moving through the body when the body is aligned. So no pressure on the lungs. Chest is open. Wide collarbones. Head in neutral tilt. Long spine. And just feel the back of the neck grow a little taller. There's usually a temptation to drop the head forward here. And we'll start with a little bit of spinal movement before we go into our poses today. Inhale, bring the hands behind the back and clasp the hands. Try to bring the palms together and straighten the arms out so you feel that stretch across the collarbones in the front of the shoulders. Perhaps lift the head a little bit. Exhale, release. Bring the hands down in front of the chest. Interlace the fingers and push the palms out. So this time the palms are not joined. Push out a little further so you feel the shoulder blades come away from the spine. Squeeze the buttocks, tuck the tailbone, drop the head a little bit. So the whole back body is stretching out. Keep the same arm position, but float the arms upwards like a big morning stretch. Looking up. Exhale, bringing the hands down behind the back. Once again, clasping them palm to palm. Pull the clenched hands away from the lower back, lifting up, feeling that stretch through the arms, shoulders, chest. Maybe looking up. Exhale, gently release, bring the hands to the chest, clasp, reverse the palms, push out, round, tuck, drop, curl. Ooh. Continue that wake up stretch, lift up, look up, reach up. And then do one more on your own. And release. And then bring that right hand to the right, lean to the right, drop the right ear towards the right, left hand up, touch the back of the head, and simply push the back of the head towards the hand towards, and then bringing that left elbow towards the right elbow, creating that twisting sensation. Float that elbow back up towards the ceiling and look up, and back. 2 or 3 more in your own time. Nice and gradually, we're just waking up the spine. Let's do one more. Inhale, come up. And if you've been sitting asymmetrically, that is not kneeling, change the cross of the leg. So the other leg comes in front. Leaning to that left side. Right hand comes to the back of the head. A nice big tap. Elbow to elbow. You can go faster than me if you like. And coming back to neutral. And finally, with a slightly different twist on things, let's take that left hand behind the back. I like to grab the waistline of my pants here, almost towards that right hip. That brings that left shoulder back. Right hand crosses over and anchors to leg or clothing. Now remember that alignment. Head over shoulders, shoulders over pelvis. Exhale, turning the head to the front shoulder and then to the back shoulder through the breath. Inhale to neutral, exhale, turning to the back shoulder. Inhale, neutral, exhale, front shoulder. So just moving with the breath. Inhale back to neutral. Slowly unwind. Notice how that leaves the body, nervous system. We'll try the other side. Alignment. Sit up tall and then let the head swivel. Inhale to neutral and release. And then coming onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we'll start with our first leg stretch. Extending the left leg out, drop the ball of the foot onto the mat. And press out through the heel bone. So you're getting this whole posterior side of the leg, particularly the calf and Achilles, with a nice big stretch. If it's too much on your hands, come onto your fists or hold blocks. Or come onto your forearms. This is all about the leg. We'll be here for a little bit so you can change. You can also use the blocks and forearms. Keep the pressure on that calf muscle. Keep the breathing slow, be patient. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. Now keeping that left leg back, change the orientation of the foot. So instead of the ball of the foot on the mat, bring the top of the foot on the mat. And bring that left knee down for a moment. And we're going to step the right foot forward. So you're in this, what we call the lizard lunge. Now you can see I'm using blocks here. That keeps me upright, but it changes the stretch completely on that back leg. You feel the difference once we extend the ankle? And you can control the intensity here. If you walk the blocks forward and come down onto your elbows, it's going to increase the intensity through the hip flexor region and maybe that top of that back leg. If you walk your hands back a little bit, it alleviates. So your goal is to find the just right position. Some of you might even have elbows on the ground directly without blocks. If at any time the static holding is too much, you can kind of push the hips back a little bit and then come back into position. If you'd like a different option here, just to increase the sensation, take that front foot and just heel toe it out to the edge of the mat. And rotate the foot outwards so the heel is kind of pointing back towards you, but the toes are pointing away from there. So you've effectively rotated that front leg. That will change the sensation slightly. If that's too much, don't do it. Once again, you can play with elbow height in that position. Now, walking that front foot back, I'm going to recommend you have the blocks handy and you take the blocks either side of that front foot and start to push the hips back. So, pushing the hips back, walk the blocks back, start to lift up that front foot, toes curled back. So you feel this move into the back of the front leg now. The nature of the stretch has changed. Hamstring stretch. Now, it is possible with the weight of the blocks to support yourself all the way back and to a point where you can sit on that back heel if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you're just stretching and holding with the blocks. So you've got some options here. This is like a midway snapshot. Hips are still up quite high. The more I lean forward, the more stretch I get. Or you can come back and sink down into that back foot and lean forward and get that hamstring stretch. So a couple of variations here. Depends if you're comfortable with the left knee and the left shin and the left ankle taking the weight of the body. Try to keep that front foot vertical, toes curled back, so you're really getting the best benefit through the hamstring there. Let's do 5 more breaths here. Again, use the blocks to walk you back into that lizard position and then bring that right knee back so you're on all fours. And this time extend just the right leg back, drop the ball of the foot and press out through the heel. So we're coming back into that deep calf muscle stretch. And once again, if your hands are tied, come onto your elbows or blocks on elbows. Really push through the heel bone here. So you've just stretched this hamstring on this leg. Now we're moving the stretch down into the calf muscle. 3 more breaths. We'll change the orientation of that back foot from curled to pointed. You can drop your knee for now, that right knee, and then left foot comes forward. So we're coming into that lizard lunge. Back toes are pointed, top of the foot, knee on the floor. The further your torso leans forward, the more that back hip flexor will feel it. And you can play with micro movements here. I'm just dropping my hips forward a little bit and then releasing and feeling how that wakes up the front hip flexor and, well, the back hip flexor. There's almost no front and back here, they're left and right. Remember, you have variations. You can come down on elbows on blocks or elbows on mat. For those looking for more, of course, you have the front foot can move to the edge of the foot, toes point outwards, heel points back in towards you, coming into that rotation in that front leg. Again, little micro sways of the hips might wake up some dormant sensations. And heel toeing that front foot back in towards the center. On hands or blocks, start to push the hips back. Front leg starts to straighten, back knee starts to bend. Lifting up the toes of the front foot so you move the stretch right up into the hamstring. The more you lean forward, the more the hamstring lengthens or tries to lengthen. And your options are to stay up high with supporting the blocks with the torso leaning forward. Or you can sink back, leaning the torso forward but using your weight to sit on that back leg. You can even bring the hands forward if you want more intensity on that hamstring stretch. And once again, play. Find your just right position. Oh, that hamstring feels good. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Once again, use your blocks or hands to bring the weight forward and bringing that left knee back under. Come onto all fours and then come onto your sit bones. Have a strap handy. And a rolled up towel or blanket. That'll be something to sit on the edge of. And if you take your blocks, we're going to come into the splits here, but I want you to prop your knees up so your blocks can be on their medium setting, but you're in the splits. So you can see my knees are quite bent. So we call this dragonfly. Now the way we increase the internal stretch of the thighs here is to simply tilt forward and reach for the feet. Some people, of course, can bring their whole torso down onto the floor. So find that just right position. We'll be here for about 10 breaths. If you find you can go a little bit lower, pull on the feet, push out through the heels, keep the toes curled back. So you're getting that nice big stretch in the internal thighs. Try to keep the head in a somewhat neutral tilt. Conceivably, you could use your bolster and elbows to come into a thinking position. Elbows on bolster, holding the chin, if that helps. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Now, keeping the splits, you can press into your hands into the bolster or mat, come up slowly and simply rotate the blocks one level down so the knees aren't quite as bent. Once again, coming forward, just noticing how that feels. We'll be here for about 5-6 breaths. Slowly come up, and time to take the trainer wheels off, moving the blocks. If that's too much, you could use folded towels underneath, and once again coming forward, finding the degree to your forward fold in dragonfly, and we'll be here for 10 breaths. Keep driving out through the heel bones, toes curled back, really optimizing that internal stretch and hamstring stretch. And just noticing once again, if you need to prop your head up, you can use your elbows on bolster, Hands under chin, just to take pressure off the neck. Three more breaths. And slowly coming up. Let's bend that right knee. So your right knee is laying down towards the ground, doesn't have to be on the ground. Your shin is somewhat parallel to the front of your mat. And then working your torso forward, swing the back leg behind you. And if you look at your two knees, they're almost in a Z shape, a Z shape. Whoom, 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 whoom. Maybe there's too many angles. I don't know, Z. It's got three, yeah. It's not a Z shape, it's a something shape. Boom, boom, boom. See if you can get it there. So traditionally that's our setup for deer pose. Let's bring the bolster around to the front of that front knee so we can lean on the bolster a little bit. And the bolster is a great starting point just to feel, let all the joints settle into this new shape. If you feel totally at home in it, you can bring your rib cage down onto that front thigh and come onto your elbows straight away. So we're hitting the outer thighs now more, the piriformis, the glutes. And we'll be here for another minute or two. So explore with your hands. The further the arms reach away over your head, the more intensity you can bring to that stretch in the glute. And you've got 1 or 2 minutes to find your optimal reach here. You don't have to come into it straight away. Just respect when the body speaks. If it says, oh, that's enough, then that's enough. And you can play with the position of those arms. If you bring the right hand more to the left, you get a deeper stretch right through that right side. And then slowly walk the hands back, lifting up the torso. noticing how that feels. And we'll do the other side, so it's coming up through center, this time dropping the other leg in front. Once again, the bolster is a nice prop to start the move with. So you're heavily leaning onto that hip of the front leg, and then you can come down, elbows onto bolster to start with. Notice how that feels. And you know how this unfolds. You can stay in each part of the shape for as long as you like, until you gradually work your way to that full antler reach. And the opposite arm to whichever leg's in front can move towards the other hand, and that will give you that deeper stretch through the ribs on that side. It's interesting, I get the cough reflex more when I lean to the to my right side. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And use your hands to walk you back upright when you're ready. So we're getting around the upper thighs gradually. We've got one more direction to hit, and for that direction I think we'll use our bolster and blocks. We'll create our structure. So you want the blocks on the 2 settings, the tallest and the middle setting. The middle setting will be closer to you, the tall setting will be further from you, and your bolster will ramp up. Make sure it feels stable. If the blocks are too far apart, it will probably collapse. Turning your back on the ramp will simply bring, so I'm facing this, so the idea for here is to remember that Z shape we came into before, except we'll have one leg straight out in front of us and the other one bent, so that the emphasis really is not on the straight leg, the emphasis is on the bent leg. And the more we lean back into the structure, the more we can feel that stretch into that front quadricep. what you need to do to make sure, for instance, let's say that bent knee is too sore, it's too tight, put a towel underneath it just to take some pressure off it. And as you start to lean back into your structure, that stretch will intensify. And you might find it's too much, so you might have to sit upright like this. So the structure's not really supporting you. Or you might push a chair up behind you and lean back on the chair instead. For those who find their quadricep is really open and they have no issues with their ankle or knee, you could in fact just lay back on your bolster without the blocks. The bolster supports your spine. And of course the next level after that is to remove the bolster altogether. So the angle increases, the intensity increases. If your neck or head is suffering lying back, bring a towel under the head. Don't strain the neck here. So whatever angle you're coming back at, it should be comfortable enough to sustain. And at the same time, you should be feeling something. If you're feeling nothing, you're not coming back far enough. Remember, at any time, if it gets too much, just reduce the angle by coming upright. Try to keep that front leg straight. The closer you can bring the knees together, the more effective this is as well. So we're really working on that quadricep. Let's do 5 more breaths on this side. And gently coming up, use your hands to lift you up. Lean towards a straight side leg and carefully untuck that bent knee. Just leaning back. Give that that bent knee, bent leg some time to recover. And we'll prepare for the other side. I'll move my structure to the other side. You can keep yours where it is. So once again, you bring back, you bend that front knee, start to straighten the front leg. New side, different joints are going to be affected. So you might find this side is different. Find the angle that you can recline to that works for you. Don't forget you can lean up against a couch or something a little higher so you've got less intensity on that thigh. Once again, working the knees towards each other. So there's a lot of sensations in this particular shape. Your goal is to find the right mixture of sensation and comfort so you can relax into it. If you can feel muscles tensing to brace against it, try reducing the angle. Always the option to bring the arms over the head if you feel like that extra upper body stretch. We haven't really focused on upper body today. It's mainly been to recover from Let's do 5 more breaths here. And carefully lean to the extended leg side and untuck your other leg. You can stay leaning against your bolster and just allow that recovery while you're leaning back. And keeping your structure in place. We'll come around and face the structure. And extending the legs out to the side once again. This time using the structure to, using the structure to hold you forward. It's a little bit like a revised version of Dragonfly. I was hoping to be a little closer to my structure, but it's not happening. But we'll start with that just for 5 breaths. And slowly come up. So I think I know what I want here. Turning your back once again on the structure. Just windshield wide the knees from side to side. And the feet are quite wide on the mat. And the next time the knees come to the right, pause. And turn and face your structure. And slowly drape the rib cage and the chest over it like you're hugging it. It's like a big teddy bear, you're just hugging it in this twist. So there's some lumbar rotation while you hug your ramp. If you're lucky, you might hear your heartbeat. Three more breaths on this side. And when you're ready, you can make your way over to the other side. And when you're ready, you can make your way up to a seated position. And once again, concerned with alignment, tuning into that aligned posture, head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Just noticing how you feel today. And as always, thank you so much for joining me and turning up. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.